And we are live.
Welcome, welcome.
Menopause Enough Already.
That's right. Women helping women through menopause mysteries, real women, real talk, real
lives.
issues,
Yes.
real problems, but real solutions, real conversations. So welcome.
So, Courtney, before we get started, let's do a shout out to Virginia Varsity. We are coming to you from Virginia Varsity Park Studios at Varsity Park Franklin, Roanoke's newest innovative storage and business center. Check them out on Facebook or at varsityparkfranklin.com.
Yes, we love our studio.
We do, and we thank them every week for letting us come in here and enjoy the studio that they have put together. It is perfect for what we are looking for and what we're doing.
Yep, great space. Thank you.
So, Courtney, what is on your mind this morning?
Well, let me just say I started this morning with an energy drink. So
It's a monster morning.
yeah, and we're fired up because we have an amazing and hot topic. We're going to talk about the M Factor today. So I don't know if any of you watched. The M Factor was a new documentary that was just put out earlier this week, and it is all about menopause. The thing that I loved the most, I think, was they had all medical professionals, OBGYNs, neurologists, dentists, everyone that they had was a female. And so there's that instant understanding and that instant connection of what's going on because they themselves are female.
And not just that, they have gone through this or are going through this themselves.
Yes.
So they have experienced the same things, and maybe their symptoms were a little bit different, but there is a compassion and an empathy and an understanding of the importance of finding answers and why we are going through what we're going through during this phase of life.
And a frustration
Yes.
of lack of information.
Yes.
The more women that I talk to, the lack of information, the lack of where do I go? Who do I talk to? Because I'm experiencing these things, and why aren't we educated on this? We educate our daughters. They're going to be starting periods, and we educate our daughters. And then there's this education and of, when you're ready to have a baby or you're desiring to start your family, there's education. And there's almost like, and they say this on the M Factor, there's a celebration. Oh,
Exactly.
celebration into
Yes.
womanhood. Now you're a woman. And celebration because, okay, now you're a mother or you're transitioning into these different phases of life. There is no celebration of menopause. Well, we are here to change that.
Well, and I wanted to add too. So there are a lot of things that we've talked about in our previous podcast about symptoms and a lot of negative things that happen with perimenopause and menopause, but there are some good things that have happened or that will happen. And so we want to make sure that we touch on those too.
Yes, for sure. So that is our topic for today, the M Factor. If you have not had a chance to watch it, it's about an hour long, extremely informative, extremely eye-opening. There were several things in there for me that I was shocked. Differences in menopause among races and nationalities. That was surprising to me. Also, it was eye-opening, the symptoms that we don't think about, dental issues.
Oh,
I didn't
yes.
know that.
No.
1 in 5 women will lose a tooth or have major dental issues because of
Within
menopause.
the first 5 years
Yes.
of menopause.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, we're going to be a little more organized in our information giving today, but like I said, I am fired up. I took like pages upon pages of
I did
notes while
too.
watching this.
I did too.
So if you have not had a chance to watch it, schedule some time. Go to pbs.org. You can watch it on your phone, your tablet, computer, TV, whatever. It's about an hour long, extremely informative. Some of our favorite doctors are on there, Kelly Casperson, and it's amazing. So schedule that in. That's a must. The M Factor. Okay, so where should we start, Heather? Where do you want to start?
One of the things that I wanted to say first was that menopause, I think there is a little bit of a misconception.
Okay,
So,
what do you mean?
There are the symptom period, the perimenopause.
Yep.
And then menopause actually being the first day after 12 months of not having a cycle.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you're postmenopause. I mean, you're not postmenopausal because you're still in menopause.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. So the symptoms may carry on. So and they say this on the M Factor too, menopause lasts the rest of your life. There is no post-menopause.
Right.
So menopause may exactly start that day that you hit, that anniversary date that you hit 12 months without a cycle. Doesn't mean you won't have one. You could have a breakthrough.
Right.
But it's just called a breakthrough. So just to let you know, you don't have to start over with all that stuff.
That's funny because I was speaking with someone and we were talking about the podcast, trying to let her know. And I said, hey, check us out. Is Menopause Enough Already? And she said, oh, I'm done. I'm already done with menopause.
It's like,
so
no,
then
you're
I
not.
had to kind of say, menopause just means no more cycle. So that is the rest of your life. Now, ladies, what we are becoming more aware of is the effect of lack of estrogen and hormones in our body continues to affect us the rest of our life. So when we talk about menopause, that is the no more cycle, but that's due to lack of hormones. Our estrogen levels drop. So our bodies, we said this on our last podcast, estrogen is in everything. And when it is depleted from our brain, I'm not going to say goes haywire, but it's trying to keep the same processes and it doesn't have the estrogen to drive it.
Right.
Now, I see your face. What do you want to say?
Well, I'm saying that, yes, our brain does run on estrogen from the time we hit puberty. The majority of our brain function as women, it functions on estrogen. So when there is a depletion of estrogen, can't talk this morning. My monster's
getting you.
So when there is a depletion of estrogen, it is like a computer going haywire and you feel crazy.
Yes.
Your brain is all over the place or it's not anywhere.
Right.
The brain fog, the not being able to find words, the depression, the anxiety. I mean, everything happens in the brain. And there is I think a line drawn. They mentioned this in the show too. There's a line drawn. You experience all these symptoms and you're thinking, oh, okay, it's just this, it's just that. It's just, oh, I just can't, use my arm or my knee hurts today. I don't know why.
Yeah. All
these things that are happening. And then there's a line drawn in the sand where you go, I am done.
Yep. Enough already.
Enough already. I am done.
Yep.
And that's when I think that we take that next step as far as where do I need to go? Who do I need to see? Who do I need to talk to? Because I can't stand feeling this way anymore.
Right. And that's a individual and personal thing. We've talked about that. I want to go ahead.
Wait a minute. One more thing about the whole brain thing. Not just I'm going crazy, but I've lost myself. I don't know who I am anymore.
Right.
And I think that can segue into the depression and anxiety or exacerbate it.
Right.
Because our brains are not functioning the way that they were when we had all our hormones.
Right.
And we were functioning on a higher level and where we felt good. I kind of relate it to like somebody playing sports. When you've got a great, awesome game or an awesome practice or where everything is flowing, like you were in that state.
Yep.
And then there's sometimes something's off.
Something's off.
I'm not flowing. I'm not feeling it.
Right. There's something's out of whack.
Yeah.
And
the whack gets
whack.
It gets way whack.
We get
and they're
way
like,
whack.
Girl, you whack. Now you know why that saying
Right.
was started.
Well, I loved on the M Factor, they had neurologists, and they are studying this. She says that's the part that we miss. We think hormonal, we think reproductive systems.
Ovaries.
She said, guys, we're talking brain health.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking cognitive function. So I want to give a couple of stats. Starting at puberty, like Heather says, the female brain runs on estrogen. Hello, ladies. That should be a red flag that when our estrogen levels drop, so does our brain function. So don't think, oh, I don't need any kind of help, or I'm gonna soldier on. We keep saying that I'm gonna just push through. It's cognitive decline. That is what really this spoke to me the most. Brain fog is due to a decrease of estrogen. Listen to this. 2/3 of all Alzheimer's patients are women. Why do we think that is? Because of the decline of estrogen.
Exactly.
2/3 of every person that has Alzheimer's is a woman.
So I was thinking about that when I heard it because our grandmother passed away and she had Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom always said it skips a generation. I don't know where she got that information. But
I think that's like hopeful, like
right.
for her.
She said it skips a generation, so I'm not going to have it. You will. And
thanks. Dun,
right.
dun.
But now, knowing what we know as far as the estrogen and how the brain uses estrogen, we can make sure that, not that we can make sure that that doesn't happen, but we can certainly help our brain and support it having hormone replacement therapy.
So some of the research they're doing, hormone supplementation and the effects that it's having on cognitive and neurological functions, supplementing with body hormones, so we're talking estrogen, testosterone, things like that, can decrease depression, anxiety, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. That is the part that grabbed me the most. I guess because it is so close to us, like you said, our grandmother and my grandmother's sisters. She had 2 sisters that also passed away with Alzheimer's. That's 3 sisters in one family passing away with Alzheimer's. That's staggering. And so then for me, I go, okay, what can I do to decrease my chances of having that happen? Because we're talking about menopause, and we've already talked about that we're in it forever. As a woman, we're in it forever after that, like you said, anniversary date, no more cycles. We know we're going to live a long life. How do we want to live that life? How do we want to spend our golden years, quote unquote, golden years? Well, for me, I want to be a badass. I want to be doing all the things. I want to feel awesome. I want to be running, playing, active, riding bikes, pickleball, all the things. And I want to have my wits about me. I want to have my cognitive function. I want to remember people's names. I want to remember what I did. So in the M Factor, that struck me like, flashing screen, pay attention, write this down, put it on the whiteboard on your fridge. We want cognitive function and we want to age well.
Right. And with that, we've talked about this before also. We're only halfway through life.
Right.
I mean, if I live to be 106, I'm halfway through life. But back it up. I still have a lot of life to go.
A lot.
So I want to make sure I still have some cognitive function. Now, it might take some humor out of my life if I keep all my cognitive function.
So that's funny you were saying that. We've been talking about, we've said a lot about estrogen. Estrogen affects, like we said, the depression, the anxiety, the Parkinson's. Testosterone is what affects the memory part of the brain.
Yes, I saw that.
So I know we hear sometimes when we're having conversations, women are a little leery about taking testosterone. They automatically think they're going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're going to be these huge, huge women with taking testosterone. That's just not the case.
It is not the case.
I mean, when we're talking about testosterone, we're talking about maybe 15 milligrams in a dose, whereas a male dosage is like 300 or something. I don't even know because I ain't a man. But but the dosage, it's minuscule.
I mean, I'm trying to build muscle.
We need to as
Right.
women. Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to build some muscle, and I'm still having a hard time. One other thing that I wanted to mention before we move on is that the going through menopause, and so during menopause, the reduction of estrogen causes a rapid cellular change.
Yes.
Rapid cellular change and cellular aging in the body and the brain. So it's also all in our bodies.
Yes.
So when we're feeling the joint pain, when we're feeling or seeing more wrinkles, and all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, why is my skin so thin? Why is my hair see-through?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, what happened? I look like the Wicked Witch of the West. You see your hair. And it's
I got to
like
get extensions.
3 strands. You go, what? I don't even see your hair anymore.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
it's all of the things. And so it's rapid aging. So one thing I noticed was that from the time I turned like 51 until now, which is almost 2 years, I'm thinking, man, I aged a lot in this 2 years. Well,
Rapid.
All of a sudden, I need a facelift. I'm like, before, after. Which do you think? I mean,
Right. Does this look
my
good?
eyes, my cheeks,
Right.
my neck, my another cheek under here.
Yeah. All the
things need lifting up.
But it's cellular.
It is cellular.
So when we're talking about our hormones and menopause, the onset is quick, and we know it's coming, and we will be. I know you don't want to hear this. Menopause forever, but it's let's transition our mindset to healthy aging and protecting ourselves, quality of life, healthy aging. Cardiovascular disease is the number one killer in women. Hormone therapy can help decrease those chances of cardiovascular disease.
Yes.
We've talked about Alzheimer's. We've talked about depression. We've talked about anxiety. So all of these things to say, I never think it is too early to have your hormone blood panel done. Now, we have talked about blood panel is not the end all of what's going on, because perimenopause, your levels will always change, and menopause, your levels are nothing. So we're talking about treating symptoms. We're talking about hormone therapy to where we feel better. Estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone, those 3 hormones working together. I also take vitamin D. I also take selenium. I take zinc. I take B. Anything that's going to help me have an increased quality of life at safe levels, at functioning cognitively, all the things. I'm sitting here running through all the things that we stop making, we stop absorbing. Talked about gut health last time. Our bodies need help, and there is nothing wrong with supplementing, with nutritionally. Are we eating good? We're eating for quality of life.
Exactly. And, if we want to take care of our teeth, we go to the dentist.
Right.
If we get a cold, we go to the doctor, or if you have an infection, you go to the doctor to get a medication to make it go away, to help support your immune system. If we go to the gynecologist to keep up with our genital health.
Right.
We do all these things, but where's the menopause health? Where's the menopause medicine? There are more and more options out there for women. And so that's something that they talked about too, is just making sure that women know what their options are. And if you choose not to take medicine, that's your choice.
That's your choice.
That's fine. That's great. You are living how you want to live.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I have a question for you. The average age of menopause is 45 to 55 in the United States. That's
Right.
like your average age. We know perimenopause can start 7 to 10 years prior to that. Did you see the stat on there that they gave how many women go into premature menopause every year?
What was the stat? I don't remember it.
250,000 women each year experience premature menopause. So those that might be listening, oh my gosh. So you're sitting there and you're 40 and you're like, I'm too young. Pay attention. Now, sometimes it is, surgically imposed, to like something that they had to have done,
Right.
a complication or like a hysterectomy, something like that causes cancer, breast cancer, that puts you into menopause. So there's lots of reasons that somebody might go into premature menopause, but 250,000 a year is really early. And I feel bad because we don't have the education and the conversations in place right now to prepare women for what's going on.
Exactly.
So let's kind of put ourselves in that space. They have a hysterectomy early in life. That's already kind of just a whammy, right? You're thinking, what in the world? And now I'm sent into this space of menopause. No one even talks about it.
No.
So like we said, we have celebrations of becoming a woman. We have celebrations of having children. We don't have a menopause party. I mean, maybe we should.
We should
We
have
should,
a menopause
because they said, no, listen.
That like came out so slow. I don't know what happened. Sorry.
Cognitive. No. We need it. We need to celebrate menopause. They said on this documentary, menopause is freedom. We need to change the mindset around it, not, well, you're no longer good to us because you can't have children.
Or you're not needed.
Right. You're not needed. BS. Menopause is freedom. Whoa.
Yes.
We should celebrate.
We should celebrate. And not only is it freedom, I can tell you, I had this, I don't know if it was mental clarity. Like there is a wisdom, there is a feeling of, I can't even explain it.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
It's just this, oh my gosh, I made it. And now I can live this beautiful, happy life without a cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. None.
Yay.
None of the crazy visitors every month.
Exactly.
I don't, that person that pops in that you don't want to see. Another phrase that they said on the M Factor that I really liked is, we call these hormones sex hormones, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone. We call them sex hormones. And Kelly Casperson said, we need to change that. They're not sex hormones. They're brain hormones. If women knew the effects of brain hormones and the lack of them, I think we'd have more women paying attention.
I think more women would be banging down the doors with their doctor saying, I want HRT. I need this for functioning. I want this to feel better.
Yeah.
But it's getting the word out, and also just the education of the hormones themselves and how they affect our bodies.
Yes, it's the dosing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the how we're using them. We've already said some women are very scared to take estrogen because of I think it was 2000 WHI study that came out, and it
Yes.
was totally false. There was no data to support his claim that it caused cancer.
It wasn't. And that's not
And-
even what the data suggested.
Right. So what a disservice to women that they came out and said that.
And I have a friend, and I actually have had several friends that have had breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
They have all survived it, which is great. And I'm
Fantastic.
very happy for them. However, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and she said, "Oh, well, I can't take hormones because I had breast cancer." And I don't know what the stats are, but I feel like, and what I have learned and researched, just from the research that I've done, that I would feel like it would benefit her
Right.
to still be able to take some hormones.
I think they were talking a little bit about this, maybe touched upon it, or maybe this was another podcast or webcast that I was watching. I can't remember. But there is a difference in systemic estrogen or vaginal estrogen, like a cream estrogen. There is a difference, and there's a difference in how your body absorbs it and how it takes it in. Maybe that is something we can we can look into that a little
I'd
bit
like
more,
to- yeah,
because I
maybe we can
know
do that.
several of you guys, our listeners, probably have experienced this.
Mhm.
I mean, breast cancer rates are on the increase. They're up more than they have been prior to, like 2000.
And they're higher, but we actually have less women on hormone replacement therapy. So it's not a result of hormone replacement therapy.
Right.
It is systemic estrogen, where their bodies store it in the breast,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
It's where the excess is stored in the breast, but it is a different type.
Yeah.
So I think, like us to look a little
Yeah.
bit.
We'll look
into
more into that and let you guys know. But I'm going to open up a whole other can of worms. So put your seatbelt on and get ready.
Okay, let's go.
Couple of stats here. Testosterone for women is not FDA approved. It's approved for males, and it's approved for transgendering people. Not for women. It is not FDA approved. So what
And that's transgender, where women want to be men. So that's
Yes.
where it's approved.
Yes.
And also some insurances.
Well, that's why
cover.
insurance doesn't cover testosterone for women. It is not FDA approved. Insurance will cover testosterone for males. Insurance will cover testosterone for transgendering female to male. Now, that burns me up. Hormone therapy is not cheap.
No,
But-
and it's for everyone.
Right.
If you're going to give it to anybody, it should be given to everyone.
So why in the world, a male's parts stop working or start not working as he wants them to? His hormones are changing. What does the doctor do? Whoo, buddy, we better get you on something, because heaven forbid your penis not work right.
Right.
That's the first thing they're going to do, is get you firing as a male, and insurance is going to cover it. And that's the first thing I think about as your doctor is, we got to get you feeling right. Your hormones are out of whack, man. This is for a
Right.
man. And I'm sorry, it's just going to get me fired up. Why are they more important than us feeling right or functioning? I mean,
Well, hello. Wouldn't men want their wives feeling right and functioning to make a better marriage?
Yes.
To make everything smoother? It's already, women are going through this and they don't know what's going on with their own bodies. Not to mention, how do they expect their husbands to react if the woman doesn't even know what's going on? How does her husband know
Right.
what's going on?
why can't we say male, female?
It
Doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
Insurance is going to cover it.
Yes.
FDA is going to approve it.
Yes.
So that made me really upset.
Well, but what we need to do about that is we need to make sure that women are educated and what your options are.
Yes.
All women need to be. My gosh, I'm having trouble talking today. I'm getting fired up. No, women need to be educated and what the options are.
Yes.
And so that women, we can come together and take a stand and make a change.
Yes.
Because with none of us saying anything, the FDA isn't going to approve anything or change anything.
And I am proud of our newer, younger generations because they are the ones that are standing up and they're saying enough already.
Yep.
We need change.
Yep.
We need to advocate for ourselves. We need to see a difference. We need equal rights. I mean, how long have women been fighting for equal rights? We need equal rights when it comes to what insurance covers. Why do you cover male hormones and not female hormones?
Right.
What is the difference? It makes zero sense. So you want to know what they, so if you go to like Walgreens or whatever, and you are trying to get your testosterone covered by insurance, they give you, and they talk about this on the M Factor, like a male package of testosterone, and they ask you just to do like 1/10 of that as your dosage.
That you have to squeeze it out yourself.
Yeah, she said, and on the documentary, she says it's like a ketchup packet. And you dose this, take 1/10 of it. She was like, how do you dose from a ketchup packet? Then your dosage is messed up. Then you're not appropriately dosing. So then you're not appropriately receiving the relief from the symptoms that you're trying to take testosterone. The biggest disservice is we made women scared of hormones that your body naturally produces.
Yes.
Why have we made women scared of their own bodies?
Well, and we're taught to ignore our symptoms and fear the hormone.
Yeah.
That is what has been presented to women.
Yep. So enough already, women. We're changing the conversation. We're changing the mindset around menopause. You have to watch this documentary. I don't care how old you are. Sharon Malone was one of the big OBGYNs that was speaking on this documentary. She's 65 years old. Am I right on that? I didn't write it down.
I think so.
She's still on hormone therapy.
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. And she was like, it's for quality. And she looks freaking amazing, let me say.
Awesome.
She takes care of herself. And that's the other thing. The women on this documentary, they take care of themselves.
Yes.
They're aware of their bodies. Enough already. I'm going to find the information. I'm going to find the medical journal studies that prove quality of life is enhanced when we can regulate our hormones throughout life.
Right, throughout life. Because there was the Menopause Society came out in 2022 and they were talking about how for most women, the benefits will outweigh the risk. So there is a risk of every medication you put in your mouth.
Yes.
There is a risk if you do nothing that your body might attack itself.
There's a risk with Tylenol. There's a risk with ibuprofen. There's a risk with anything.
Foods.
Yeah.
There's risk with all these foods that we're putting in our mouths. But the benefits for hormone replacement therapy outweigh the risk for majority of women. It protects against cardiovascular disease, which we've already said that is the #1 killer of women. And that is, if you take all of the cancers combined, it is still
the leading
cause of death. So we're so worried about cancers or finding, breast cancer, uterine cancer, whatever the cancer is.
How about heart health?
Right. That is like
brain health.
Exactly. That is the #1 thing. So it protects us against that. It protects against neurodementia. We've already mentioned Alzheimer's. And if started early enough, it will always protect our bones, genital urinary systems.
Yeah, UTIs.
Yes.
UTIs kill old people.
Yes.
This helps protect against UTIs. That should be huge in and of itself, right there. Protection.
I mean, if you women have ever had a UTI, come on, raise your hand if you haven't.
Horrible.
But it helps protect our bodies.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just wanting to say like all the things that it helped protect against. And then I wanted to also share a stat where it actually It was a gynecologist, and she was on the show, and she was talking about how during your regular cycle years of being a woman and going through your cycle, your body fluctuates in estrogen from 20 to 500.
Oh, yeah. I want it. Yeah, I was.
Yes.
So
20 to 500.
So let's relate that. And I love the analogy they
To
used.
coffee.
Okay. So those of you that are coffee drinkers or caffeine
Yep.
users, so a fluctuation from 500 down to 20 is a difference of drinking 6 cups of coffee a day
regularly
to nothing.
to go into zero.
That is the difference of that fluctuation of estrogen. Tell me, if you drink 6 cups of coffee a day and then you go cold turkey and you're nothing, you're not going to lose your mind and not be able to function.
Lose your mind, you can't function, you have headaches, nausea, don't feel good. How am I going to
Irritability.
get through today? Exactly.
You know, we talk about being irritable, and we posted a little video on our stories yesterday on our Instagram, and it was a woman talking to different friends in different situations, and her friends are, the joke was, is it perimenopause? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Oh, is it? I don't know. Because that's kind of where we are. Oh, is this perimenopause? I don't know. Is it? Oh,
But
I'm
it's
hot.
a fear.
How can I still? I can't be going into menopause. I wear jean jackets. I'm young.
I wear jean jackets.
Right? It's like, this can't possibly be perimenopause. Like, I'm cool. I'm hip. I'm young. Menopause is for old women. Sorry, guys. Menopause is for everyone. And like we just said, 250,000 women a year experience early onset. I was straight up done menopausal at 47 years old. I'm on the front end of that. So hallelujah. I was waiting that 12 month, and every month it was like, okay, that's another month. Okay, that's another month. I'm closer.
So there was a celebration.
I was celebrating. When there was 12 months of no cycle, it was like, yes, I made it. So, yeah, we've got to flip the script. I have to interject this. I didn't give this stat when I was giving the insurance covers this or doesn't cover this. Okay, listen to this, okay? There are multiple FDA-approved drugs for erectile dysfunction. Imagine that. Multiple FDA-approved drugs. There are 2 approved FDA drugs for low libido for females. What's the problem here? We're giving men all these drugs to have erections, and then we're not treating the woman that might want to participate with him.
I mean,
come on
now. Shouldn't you take care of your wife
yes.
to make sure that she wants to be
with your prescription? But yeah, that's why we're having these conversations. We have to change what's going on, and it's not going to change until we continue to beat down the doors and advocate for ourselves that enough already. Mm-hmm. Help me. What can I do? These are my symptoms. It can't be blood panel only, symptoms and blood panel. We're treating for health. We're not just treating the symptoms. We want to feel good. We want to protect our bones. We want to protect our heart. We want to protect our brain. Those are the biggest things. And those are what create your quality of life.
Right.
And, if the males are out taking erectile dysfunction medications, we need to be feeling good too. Okay? Right. It can't be male, female,
inequalities.
Right.
It's just, we've got to stand up together as women and bring this to the attention of other women so that we can get the coverage that we need, because it is not cheap to have our hormone replacement therapies.
Yeah.
It is not cheap. Now, estrogen and progesterone, yes, those are covered. under most insurance.
Right.
So, but to get all three, which all three work together in the female bottle, daggone, today is awesome. It sounds like I've been drinking the bottle. It is 11 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yay, hey,
In the body. So we need to come together. So with that being said, anything you want to say to wrap this up? Any highlights that you want to reiterate before we tell them where to come follow us so that we can take a stand?
So the more women I talk to, they still have that mindset that hormone therapy is just for like reproductive purposes. That's kind of what they equate it to. And typically, yep, okay, we talk about menopause, we're talking about cycles. It's so much more. When we're talking about menopause, we need to flip your mindset that, okay, I'm now not producing my brain hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And when our brain isn't functioning properly, our body is not functioning properly. Our brain tells every biological process in our body how to do it and what to do. And so when our brain is depleted or deprived of our brain hormones, estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone, we're not functioning the way that we should. And so then we're rapidly declining in certain places. And we may not even realize it because it happens over time.
Right.
We want quality of life.
And you know what? All of a sudden you're told, simmer down now.
Yeah.
Simmer
Why
down.
am I going to simmer down?
What? I didn't even know I was simmered up.
I want to be simmered up. I've said it before. I'm not going quietly into that good night. No. We're going to have fun. Menopause is freedom.
I just had this vision of being buried
No.
alive.
No.
But with only my head sticking out because your life is over. You're in menopause. You can lay over there and breathe until your last days. Like there's no purpose anymore. But we do. We need to change that mindset.
Yes. We are the only ones that can change that mindset.
Exactly.
We change it for ourselves and then spread the word.
Yes.
Educate your friends, your family, your daughters, your sisters, your aunts, not uncles. But yes, educate your uncles. They need to know because they need to realize we do still bring a lot to the table. We are still in the workforce for a long time during menopause. And in the M Factor, they talk a lot about being in the workforce. And some big companies offer menopause benefits, but only 4%. Anyway, we can touch. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Whole nother podcast.
Yeah, my wrap up has been not a wrap up.
That's okay. There's so much information. That's all.
Change the way we think about it.
Yes.
Change what we demand for ourselves.
Yes. So share the podcast so that with everyone so that they can learn. I mean, we are here to help educate, to help get the word out. And we are constantly researching, learning, listening. And so we are here to shout from the rooftops everything that we have learned.
Yeah.
And so that we can take a stand together.
And I want to say thank you to those of you that are spreading this, sharing this, liking the podcast, liking our pages, because we are getting a ton of comments, private comments and responses. Just women that are pulling their hair out, and this has been like a light bulb going on for them. And so we're getting the questions, where do you go? Where can I go?
What's next?
Who can help me?
Yes.
I'm at the point that I'm listening to your podcast and I'm yelling, yes, yes, yes. That's me. That's me. That's me. The response we have been getting is awesome.
Is amazing.
We love it. And
so
keep on.
And it just makes us want to work and do that much more, to learn that much more, so we can share what we've learned. So with that, we appreciate and we thank you for listening. Please follow the podcast, share the podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and follow us on Instagram, Menopause Enough Already, Facebook, and just share the word, get it out.
Absolutely.
And keep supporting. And please send us comments, make comments. And if you are uncomfortable and a little hesitant about putting a comment out, that's anyone can see, email us at
Yes, please do.
menoenoughalready@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we would love to help guide and direct you in any way we can. We are not medical professionals, so we are only sharing personal experiences.
Real women, real talk.
Exactly.
Yep. Come along on this journey with us, because I have a feeling it's going to be fun.
It's going to be really fun. So with that being said, we will see you guys next week.
Yep. Take care.